When terrorists poison both pilots at 37,000 feet, only one passenger can save the plane. But she's been hiding for 7 years because powerful people want her dead. Landing the plane means exposing herself. Staying silent means 243 people die. What would you choose, save lives or save yourself? Before you watch full story, comment below from which country are you watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stories. Her name is Anna Lewis. At least, that's what her passport says. She's 34 years old, sitting in seat 14B on Delta Flight 826, Miami to Seattle, wearing a plain gray cardigan that cost $19 at Target, minimal makeup applied with the precision of someone who's practiced looking unmemorable, dark-rimmed glasses she doesn't need, and brown hair dyed from her natural blonde every 6 weeks like clockwork. She looks like a librarian. A kindergarten teacher. Someone utterly, completely forgettable. That's the point. The businessman in 14A doesn't notice her. He's already asleep, mouth slightly open, Wall Street Journal sliding off his lap. The teenager in 14C has earbuds wedged deep, scrolling TikTok with the glazed expression of someone who's seen the same dance 17 times. The flight attendant served her coffee without a second glance, cream, no sugar, delivered with the mechanical smile of people who serve 400 passengers a day and remember none of them. She's invisible. Perfect. Nobody on this flight knows that 7 years ago, Anna Lewis didn't exist. 7 years ago, the woman in seat 14B was Lieutenant Maya Cortez, one of the youngest female pilots in the United States Air Force, flying C-17 Globemaster III transport missions for classified operations across 3 continents. She had a fiancé named David Chen, a software engineer who proposed on a beach in San Diego with a ring he'd saved 8 months to buy. She had a sister named Rachel, 2 years younger, who texted her constantly about wedding plans Maya never had time to think about. She had parents who were proud, who'd framed her commissioning photo, who told everyone at church about their daughter the pilot. She had a career trajectory that pointed straight toward command. Major by 35. Lieutenant Colonel by 40. Maybe full colonel if she played the politics right. Then she saw something she wasn't supposed to see. It happened on a Tuesday. Maya remembers because Tuesdays were supply runs, the unglamorous side of military aviation. No combat glory, just hauling cargo from Andrews Air Force Base to a forward operating base in an unnamed location that her security clearance said she couldn't discuss but that everyone knew was somewhere in the Middle East doing something the public wouldn't approve of if they knew the details. The manifest that day listed medical supplies and equipment. Standard. Routine. Maya had flown the same route 47 times. But 20 minutes into the flight, they hit turbulence. Not dangerous, just enough to shake the cargo. One of the crates shifted, straps loosening, and Maya, running through her mental checklist because good pilots are paranoid pilots, decided to check the cargo bay during cruise. That's when she saw it. The crate had cracked open. Inside weren't medical supplies. Inside were weapons components, advanced systems Maya recognized from briefings. Experimental targeting technology. Guidance systems that weren't supposed to exist outside classified research facilities. Hardware stamped with manufacturer codes that Maya knew belonged to programs that weren't supposed to leave American soil under any circumstances, certainly not on routine supply flights, definitely not packaged like they were being delivered to someone who'd paid for them. She stood in that cargo bay for 30 seconds, her brain processing what her eyes were seeing. Then she took photos with her personal phone, 6 pictures, different angles, close-ups of serial numbers and shipping labels. Then she returned to the cockpit and flew the mission exactly as planned, because Maya Cortez followed protocol. Always. She reported it the next day. Followed the chain of command. Told her commanding officer, Colonel Marcus Webb, a man she'd respected, a man who'd mentored her, a man who'd written her last 3 performance reviews with glowing recommendations. Webb listened. Took notes. Told her he'd investigate. Told her she'd done the right thing. Told her not to discuss this with anyone, proper protocol for sensitive matters. 72 hours later, Maya was scheduled for a routine training flight. Solo navigation exercise. Nothing complicated. But at 0400 hours that morning, her phone buzzed with a text from a number she didn't recognize: "Don't fly today. They're coming for you. The crash is scheduled for Thursday. If you want to live, disappear." Maya stared at that message for 10 minutes. Paranoia? A prank? Some kind of test? Then she looked up the sender. Encrypted routing, but she had contacts. The message came from Captain Jennifer Reese, Air Force Intelligence, someone Maya had worked with on 2 classified missions, someone who'd once told her, "If I ever warn you about something, don't ask questions. Just listen." Maya made a decision in 15 seconds. She'd spent her entire life making decisions in seconds. That's what pilots do. Calculate odds. Choose. Commit. She didn't fly the training mission. She told her commanding officer she was sick, stomach flu, nothing serious, she'd be back tomorrow. She packed a single backpack with cash she'd been saving, a burner phone, 3 changes of clothes, and a fake ID she'd acquired years ago for reasons she'd never quite articulated but that some instinct told her might be useful someday. At 1430 hours, her aircraft, the one she should have been flying, suffered a catastrophic mechanical failure during what was officially described as a routine training flight. The plane exploded mid-air. Debris scattered across 40 square miles of desert. The official report listed the cause as engine failure, possibly due to improper maintenance. The official report listed the pilot as Lieutenant Maya Cortez, killed in action, body unrecoverable due to fire, presumed dead. Except Maya wasn't on that plane. Maya was 200 miles away, watching the news report on a television in a truck stop diner, eating eggs that tasted like cardboard while a CNN anchor solemnly reported her death. She watched her parents cry on camera. She watched David, grief-stricken, refuse to comment. She watched Rachel scream at reporters to leave their family alone. And Maya did nothing. Said nothing. Because Captain Reese had sent one more message: if you contact anyone, you sign their death warrant too. Stay dead. Stay hidden. I'll reach out when it's safe. That was 7 years ago. For 7 years, she's been Anna Lewis. She works remotely as a database analyst for a tech company based in Austin that doesn't care about her past and only cares that she delivers clean data on time. She lives alone in a small apartment in Billings, Montana, a city she'd never visited before, a city where nobody knows her. She dyes her hair every 6 weeks at a different salon each time, paying cash, never going to the same place twice. She never goes to military bases or aviation events or anywhere she might be recognized. She deleted every social media account. She cut ties with every friend. She became a ghost. She's learned to live with the weight of it, the guilt that sometimes wakes her at 3 a.m., the dreams where she sees Rachel crying at her funeral, the phantom sensation of David's arms around her that she'll never feel again. But yesterday, everything changed. A text message appeared on the burner phone she's kept for 7 years, charged once a month, never used: the people who tried to kill you are being arrested. FBI has evidence. Conspiracy exposed. You're safe now. Come home. Jr. Jennifer Reese. The woman who saved her life. Maya stared at that message for 6 hours. Read it 40 times. Analyzed every word for hidden meaning, for code, for signs it might be a trap. Then she bought a plane ticket. This flight to Seattle is her first step back to life. Rachel lives in Seattle now, Maya knows because she's been following her sister's life from a distance, watching LinkedIn updates, seeing Facebook photos through fake accounts, maintaining just enough connection to know Rachel is alive and safe without ever revealing herself. Maya's plan is simple: arrive in Seattle. Go to Rachel's apartment. Knock on the door. Say the words she's rehearsed 10,000 times: I'm sorry. I'm alive. I'm home. Then, if Rachel doesn't hate her, if Rachel can forgive her, maybe she'll find David. He's in Portland now, remarried, Maya discovered 2 years ago, to a woman named Christine who looks kind in photos. Maya doesn't blame him. You can't expect someone to wait for a ghost. But maybe, she can explain. Maybe he'll understand why she did what she did. Maybe they can have coffee, talk about old times, find some kind of closure that doesn't taste like 7 years of unanswered questions. Maybe, slowly, carefully, she can become Maya Cortez again. She spent the first hour of this flight staring out the window, watching America slide by below, mountains and plains and cities and roads connecting lives she's been locked out of. She's imagined Rachel's face. She's practiced the words. She's mentally prepared for anger, for tears, for the possibility that Rachel might slam the door in her face and never speak to her again. She's prepared for everything except what happens next. It starts at 37,000 feet over Colorado, 90 minutes into the flight, when the captain's voice comes over the intercom, strained, slurred, fundamentally wrong in a way that makes Maya's pilot instinct scream danger before her conscious mind processes why. Flight attendants, to the cockpit, immediately. The words are thick, mushy, like someone speaking through Novocaine. Like someone losing motor control mid-sentence. Maya's head snaps up. That's not a normal announcement. That's not a pilot making a routine request. That's someone whose body is failing them at 37,000 feet with 243 souls depending on their brain staying conscious. The businessman in 14A jerks awake. The teenager pulls out her earbuds, looking confused. All around the cabin, passengers glance at each other with the universal expression of people who sense something is wrong but don't yet know what. The lead flight attendant, her name tag says Joan Martinez, 50-something with gray-streaked hair pulled into a tight bun, rushes forward from the galley. She moves fast, professional, but Maya sees the fear in her eyes. Sees the way her hand shakes slightly as she punches the code into the cockpit door. Through the thin door, Maya hears raised voices. Alarm. Someone saying, both of them, and then a thud, like something heavy hitting the floor. The cockpit door closes. Silence. The plane continues flying, smooth, steady, autopilot doing its job. But Maya's pulse is hammering. Both of them. Both of who? Both pilots? 2 minutes pass. 3. The cabin has gone quiet, passengers sensing the wrongness, conversations dying out, everyone staring toward the front of the plane. Then Joan's voice comes over the intercom, trying desperately to sound calm but failing in every syllable. Ladies and gentlemen, if there is a doctor on board, please press your call button now. That's when the fear starts. Maya watches it ripple through the cabin like a wave, people sitting up straighter, looking around, mothers pulling children closer. 2 call buttons light up. A man in a suit 4 rows ahead stands. A woman near the back raises her hand. Joan escorts them forward. The cockpit door opens and closes. 5 minutes pass. The plane continues on autopilot, smooth and steady, while behind that locked door something terrible is unfolding. Maya's hands grip her armrests. She knows aircraft. She knows autopilot systems. She knows that modern commercial jets can fly themselves for hours, maintaining altitude, following programmed routes, adjusting for wind. But she also knows they can't land themselves. Someone has to be conscious. Someone has to guide the plane down through the complex choreography of descent, approach, landing. Someone has to be at the controls. Then the announcement comes that makes Maya's blood run cold. Ladies and gentlemen, this is First Flight Attendant Joan Martinez. Her voice is shaking now, the professional veneer cracking. Both our pilots have become unconscious. We have a medical emergency in the cockpit. If anyone on board has flight experience, any kind of flight experience, please identify yourself immediately. The cabin erupts. Screaming. Crying. Someone shouting, "Oh my God, we're going to die." A child wailing. Parents grabbing their kids. A man in the back standing up, yelling, "What do you mean both pilots? How can both pilots be unconscious?" Pure panic spreading like wildfire through a space where panic can kill. Maya sits frozen. Her mind is racing, calculating, processing. Unconscious pilots. Both of them. That's not a heart attack. Heart attacks don't strike two people simultaneously. That's not a stroke. That's poisoning. That's an attack. That's intentional. Her second thought, someone poisoned the pilots. On this flight. Why? Her third thought, can anyone here fly this plane? She watches Joan move through the cabin, asking passengers directly now, desperate. Any flight experience? Anything at all? People shake their heads, crying, terrified. A man says, "I've flown a Cessna," but his hands are shaking so badly he can barely speak. Joan thanks him, tells him to wait, keep searching. Maya knows what she should do. She's flown aircraft bigger than this Boeing 767. She's handled emergencies in combat zones. She's landed planes with one engine out, with hydraulics failing, with systems screaming warnings. She's logged thousands of hours. She could walk into that cockpit right now and land this plane with her eyes closed. But revealing herself means everyone who tried to kill her 7 years ago will know she's alive. The message from Jennifer Reese said she was safe. Said arrests were happening. Said the conspiracy was exposed. But what if the message was wrong? What if it was a trap? What if the people who tried to kill her 7 years ago are still out there, still powerful, still capable of making people disappear? What if stepping forward right now is exactly what they want? Maya's brain plays out scenarios, she reveals herself. She lands the plane. News crews film her. Her name goes public. And within 24 hours, someone finds her. Someone finishes what they started 7 years ago. Someone makes sure Lieutenant Maya Cortez stays dead this time. Or, she stays silent. Stays hidden. The plane crashes. 243 people die. But Anna Lewis lives. She can disappear again. New name, new city, new life. She's done it once, she can do it again. The calculation is simple. Horrible, but simple. Her life versus theirs. She watches Joan move through the cabin. The flight attendant is crying now, not even trying to hide it. "Please," she's saying. "Someone. Anyone. We need help." Nobody responds. The panic is too overwhelming. People are praying, calling loved ones, writing final text messages. The teenager next to Maya is sobbing, typing frantically, "Mom, I love you, please know I love you." Maya looks across the aisle. There's a little girl there, maybe 6 years old, Asian features, wearing a purple dress with unicorns on it. She's clutching her mother and crying, her face buried in her mother's shoulder, her small body shaking with terror. She's the same age Maya was when she first told her father she wanted to fly planes. The same age when she stood in a field watching aircraft pass overhead and felt something in her chest pull upward, toward the sky, toward a future that seemed impossible and necessary all at once. The little girl looks at Maya. Their eyes meet. And Maya sees herself 7 years ago, climbing into that cargo bay, seeing those weapons, making the choice to report it even though some instinct whispered that truth might be dangerous. She sees herself at 27, reading that text message, choosing to disappear rather than die. She sees herself right now, in this moment, at another impossible crossroads. Truth or survival? Others or herself? The person she was trained to be or the ghost she's become? Maya unbuckles her seatbelt and stands. The businessman in 14A looks at her, confused. The teenager stares. Around her, passengers watch as this forgettable woman in a gray cardigan walks toward the front of the plane. Joan turns. Her face is streaked with tears, her expression desperate. Ma'am. Do you have flight experience? Maya's voice is quiet but absolutely steady. 7 years of hiding, of silence, of being nobody. And now, in this moment, she becomes someone again. Yes. Military transport. Large aircraft. Multi-engine. I can fly. Joan's face floods with relief so intense it's almost painful to witness. Thank God. Oh, thank God. Come with me. Please. As Maya walks toward the cockpit, passengers staring, someone asking, who is she, and someone else answering, I don't know, Maya thinks, this is it. This is the moment Maya Cortez comes back from the dead. And whoever tried to kill her 7 years ago is about to find out. The only question is whether they're on this plane already, watching, waiting. The cockpit is a nightmare rendered in switches, screens, and slumped bodies. Captain and first officer both unconscious, slumped over their seats, heads lolled forward, completely unresponsive. 2 doctors, the man in the suit and the woman from the back, are working on them with the frantic energy of people who know exactly how badly things have gone wrong. One doctor is checking the captain's pulse, airway, pupil response. The other is doing the same for the first officer. The instrument panel glows with normal readings. Altitude, 37,000 feet. Airspeed, 485 knots. Heading, 320 degrees. Autopilot, engaged. Fuel, 62% remaining. Everything is fine. Everything is perfect. Except the 2 people who are supposed to be flying this machine are completely unconscious. Maya steps into the cockpit. Joan closes the door behind her, muffling the sounds of panic from the cabin. What happened to them? Maya asks, already moving toward the jump seat, her eyes sweeping across the instrument panel. The male doctor, mid-40s, gray temples, expensive watch, looks up. We don't know. Both collapsed within minutes of each other. Same symptoms, loss of consciousness, depressed respiration, pupils constricted. Suggests poisoning, possibly something airborne, though we're not affected. More likely something in their food. Poisoning. Both pilots. Within minutes of each other. Maya's mind races. Commercial pilots don't eat the same meals, that's basic safety protocol, specifically to prevent this scenario. If one meal is contaminated, the other pilot remains functional. Which means either A. Someone deliberately poisoned both meals, knowing the protocol. B. Someone poisoned something else both pilots consumed, coffee, water, something shared. C. This is about her. That third possibility makes her stomach clench. What if the message from Jennifer Reese wasn't a trap? What if it was legitimate, and the people who tried to kill her 7 years ago found out she was on this flight? What if poisoning the pilots is designed to force her to reveal herself? No. That's paranoia. That's 7 years of looking over her shoulder creating conspiracy theories. More likely this is random, food poisoning, accidental contamination, bad luck. But Maya stopped believing in coincidence 7 years ago. She moves to the jump seat, positioning herself where she can see the entire instrument panel. The Boeing 767 is different from the C-17 Globemaster she flew, commercial versus military, different systems, different procedures. But aircraft are aircraft. Altitude, airspeed, heading, fuel, trim, flaps, gear, the fundamentals don't change. Joan hovers behind her. What's your name? Maya hesitates. This is the moment. Once she says this name, once it gets recorded in the cockpit voice recorder, once it goes into official records, there's no taking it back. Anna Lewis will cease to exist. Maya Cortez will be alive again. She thinks of the little girl crying in the cabin. She thinks of 243 people who deserve to see tomorrow. She thinks of 7 years of hiding, and how exhausting it's been to be no one. Maya, she says. Maya Cortez. I'm an Air Force pilot. Former, she adds. I've been away for a while. Joan doesn't catch the weight in those words, the 7 years of history compressed into, away for a while. She just nods, desperate for any competence in this moment. Can you land this plane? Yes. But I need to understand what we're dealing with. Maya reaches for the radio, keying the mic. Denver Center, this is Delta 826. We have both pilots incapacitated, possible poisoning. I'm a military-trained pilot assuming command of the aircraft. Requesting immediate priority landing and medical response. The controller's voice comes back instantly, professional, but Maya can hear the stress underneath. Delta 826, copy emergency. Confirm both pilots are incapacitated. Affirmative. Both unconscious. I'm taking controls now. Copy. Are you qualified to fly a Boeing 767? Negative on specific type rating. I'm qualified on multi-engine military transport aircraft. C-17 Globemaster. Similar systems. I can fly this. A pause. Longer than normal. Maya can imagine the scene in Denver Center, controllers staring at screens, supervisors being called over, procedures being consulted. This has never happened before. Pilots train for engine failures, for fires, for hydraulic problems. They don't train for the scenario where both pilots are poisoned and a random passenger has to land the plane. Delta 826, understood. We're clearing all traffic. Vectoring you direct to Denver International. Emergency equipment will be standing by. What's your name for the record? Maya closes her eyes. The moment she says this, it goes into FAA databases. It gets time-stamped. It becomes part of the official record. Every intelligence agency in the country will know within minutes that Lieutenant Maya Cortez, dead for 7 years, is alive and flying a commercial airliner. Lieutenant Maya Cortez, United States Air Force. Silence. Long, heavy, stunned silence. Then, say again your identification. Maya Cortez. CRTZ. And yes, I know what that name means. We can discuss it after I land this plane. Another pause. Then, copy, Lieutenant Cortez. Denver International is 68 miles at your 12 o'clock. Current weather, winds 270 at 12, visibility 10 miles, ceiling unlimited. We're clearing runway 34R for your approach. Roger. Beginning descent. Maya's hands move across the instrument panel. She disengages autopilot, the sudden weight of the yoke in her hands is familiar, welcome, grounding. She's not Anna Lewis anymore. She's Maya Cortez. She's a pilot. This is what she was born to do. She begins a gentle descent. 300 feet per minute. Nothing dramatic. She's not trying to be a hero, she's trying to be smooth, predictable, by the book. She reduces power slightly, lets the nose drop 1 degree, watches the vertical speed indicator swing downward. Behind her, the doctors are still working on the pilots. Checking vitals. Joan is on the intercom. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a qualified pilot in the cockpit. Please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened. We're diverting to Denver for an emergency landing. The words are meant to calm, but Maya can hear the screaming from the cabin anyway. Fear is a living thing in confined spaces. Maya focuses on flying. Airspeed, 440 knots. Altitude, descending through 36,000. Heading, 315 degrees, direct to Denver. She's hand-flying the 767, feeling the aircraft respond to her inputs, the slight lag of a commercial jet compared to military aircraft, the different weight distribution, the way it wants to float versus the more responsive handling she's used to. It's like riding a bicycle after 7 years. Muscle memory. Her hands know what to do before her brain gives the command. Denver Center, Delta 826. What's our traffic situation? All traffic cleared from your route. Your priority 1. Proceed direct. Descend and maintain flight level 240. Direct Denver, descending to 24,000. Maya reaches for the yoke, makes the adjustments. The plane responds. She's in control. Her burner phone vibrates in her pocket. Her blood goes cold. Nobody has this number. Nobody except Jennifer Reese and maybe 3 other intelligence contacts from her old life. And they would never, ever contact her during a flight unless. She pulls out the phone. One new message. Unknown number. Against every instinct, she opens it. We know you're alive. We know you're on that plane. If you land, you're dead within 24 hours. Stay disappeared. Maya's hands tighten on the yoke. The plane wobbles slightly. She corrects, forcing herself to breathe, to focus. They know. Whoever tried to kill her 7 years ago just found out she survived. Not tomorrow. Not after she lands. Right now, in this moment, they know. Which means someone on this plane told them. Or someone monitoring FAA communications heard her name. Or the poisoning. The pilots. What if it wasn't random? What if it was designed to force her to reveal herself? What if this entire scenario is a trap? Her mind races through possibilities. They couldn't have known she'd be on this specific flight unless they've been tracking her. Which means Anna Lewis isn't as hidden as she thought. Which means they've been watching her, waiting, and this flight she took because she believed Jennifer Reese's message about safety, is exactly where they wanted her. Maya looks at the unconscious pilots. Are they victims? Or are they part of this? Did someone pay them to fake poisoning? No, the doctors said constricted pupils, depressed respiration. That's real. Those men are really dying. Which means someone on this plane poisoned them specifically to force Maya into the cockpit. Joan touches her shoulder. Are you okay? You went pale. Maya shoves the phone back in her pocket. Fine. Just, calculating approach vectors. She has a choice. Right here, right now, with 65 miles to Denver, she has a choice. She could set the autopilot. Program it for Denver. Walk out of this cockpit. Tell Joan she can't do this, she's not qualified, she made a mistake. Walk back to the cabin. Wait for the plane to crash. And in the chaos, the panic, the confusion, the screaming, she could disappear. Emergency exit. Parachute. She knows how. She's done military bailout training. She could be gone before anyone realizes. Anna Lewis could vanish. Again. New name. New city. Stay alive. Or she could land this plane. Save 243 people. And face whatever comes next. The text message is clear, if you land, you're dead within 24 hours. They're not bluffing. She knows that. 7 years ago, they staged her death. They killed her replacement pilot, some unlucky lieutenant who flew her scheduled training mission and died in an explosion that was meant for Maya. They've killed before. They'll kill again. If she lands, she's exposing herself. She's painting a target. She's telling the world exactly where to find her. If she doesn't land, everyone on this plane dies. Including that little girl in the purple dress. Maya checks her instruments. Altitude, 31,000 feet. Distance to Denver, 52 miles. Time remaining, maybe 20 minutes. She thinks about David, about the proposal on the beach, about the ring she wore for 3 months before everything fell apart. She thinks about Rachel, who mourned her, who cried at her funeral, who buried an empty casket. She thinks about her parents, who aged 10 years in the months after her death. She thinks about 7 years of being nobody. 7 years of safety purchased with silence. 7 years of existence without living. She makes her choice. Maya keys the intercom. Her voice echoes through the cabin, over the screaming, over the crying, over the desperate prayers. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the cockpit. My name is Maya Cortez. Some of you might recognize that name from news 7 years ago. I'm the pilot who was declared dead in a training accident in 2018. I wasn't dead. I was hiding. I faked my death because some very dangerous people wanted me dead for what I knew about illegal weapons sales and military corruption. The cabin goes silent. Even the crying stops. 243 people listening to a ghost speak. Right now, those same people know I'm on this plane. They've contacted me. They're threatening me. They want me to disappear again, to let this aircraft crash, to stay hidden, to stay safe. But if I do that, everyone on this aircraft dies. Every single person. So I'm making a choice. I'm landing this plane. I'm saving your lives. And then I'm going to face whatever comes next. Because I've been hiding for 7 years, and I'm done running. I'm done letting fear decide who I am. If they want to kill me, they can try. But not before I save you. Silence. Absolute silence. Then, from somewhere in the back of the cabin, someone starts clapping. Slow at first. Then another person. Then another. Then the entire cabin erupts, not celebration, but solidarity. Not applause, but a promise. We're with you. We see you. We'll remember you. Maya blinks back tears she didn't know were forming. She keys the radio, Denver Center, Delta 826. Beginning final approach. The approach is perfect. Textbook. Maya could do this in her sleep, and maybe in some ways she has been, dreaming about flying, about cockpits, about the feeling of an aircraft responding to her hands for 7 years while she pretended to be someone who'd never touched a yoke. She configures the aircraft exactly by procedure. Flaps 5 at 10 miles. Flaps 15 at 7 miles. Gear down at 5 miles, 3 green lights confirming all landing gear is locked. Flaps 25, then full at 3 miles. Airspeed decreasing, 170 knots, 160, 150. Right on target. Denver International appears ahead, massive sprawl of terminals and runways. Emergency vehicles line runway 34R, their lights flashing, fire trucks, ambulances, police. Maya can see them even from 5 miles out, a constellation of red and blue waiting for either a miracle or a disaster. Delta 826, you're cleared to land runway 34R. Winds 270 at 10 gusting 15. Emergency equipment is standing by. Cleared to land, 34R, Maya confirms. Her voice is steady. Her hands are steady. Inside, her heart is hammering, but that's okay. Adrenaline is a tool. Fear is information. She's trained for this. 3 miles. The runway stretches ahead, concrete waiting. She's slightly high on the glide slope, she corrects, pulling power back another fraction. 2 miles. She's right on speed, right on altitude. 1 mile. She can see individual lights now, the threshold markers, the touchdown zone. Half mile. She begins the flare, gently pulling back on the yoke, raising the nose, bleeding off speed. The ground rushes up. Airspeed, 145 knots. Height, 50 feet. 40. 30. She holds the flare, waiting, waiting. The main landing gear touches. Perfect. Exactly on the 1,000-foot markers. She holds the nose up, lets the aircraft settle, then gently lowers the nose wheel. Contact. They're down. Reverse thrust. Spoilers deploy automatically. She applies brakes, firm but not aggressive, letting the aircraft decelerate in a controlled manner. Airspeed bleeding off, 120 knots. 180. 60. She's done. They're safe. 243 people who were going to die are now going to live. Delta 826, nice job. Exit taxiway Bravo 1 when able. Emergency equipment will meet you. Maya taxis off the runway. She parks the aircraft exactly where directed. She sets the parking brake. She shuts down the engines. The sudden silence is deafening. Behind her, Joan is crying, thanking God, thanking Maya, unable to form coherent sentences. The doctors are still working on the pilots, they're alive, but barely. They need hospitals. They need time. Maya unbuckles and stands. Her legs are shaking, post-adrenaline crash, muscle fatigue, 7 years of not doing this suddenly catching up. Joan hugs her. You saved us. You saved everyone. Maya doesn't feel like a hero. She feels like someone who just made a choice and is about to pay for it. The cabin door opens. Not emergency responders, FBI agents. 5 of them, in suits, hands near their weapons but not drawing. They're not here for the passengers. They're here for her. A woman steps forward. Mid-40s, Asian features, FBI credentials around her neck. Lieutenant Cortez. I'm Special Agent Sandra Torres. We need to talk. I figured. Give me a minute. Maya walks into the cabin. Passengers stare at her, some crying, some smiling, all looking at her like she's something between a ghost and a guardian angel. The little girl in the purple dress waves. Maya waves back. She exits the aircraft. The jetway is full of agents, reporters somehow already there, cameras filming, someone shouting questions. Lieutenant Cortez. How does it feel to be alive? What happened 7 years ago? Are you in danger? Torres guides her through the chaos. We have a secure location. We need to debrief you. The people who tried to kill you 7 years ago, we've arrested some, but there are more. You're still in danger. I know, Maya says. I got a text. Torres stops. During the flight. You were contacted during the flight. They know I'm alive. They threatened me. Told me I'd be dead in 24 hours. Torres's expression hardens. We need to move you. Now. Protective custody. They're walking through the terminal now. TSA has cleared the area, but Maya can see people staring through the glass walls of security checkpoints. Word is spreading. Social media is probably exploding. The ghost pilot returns. Then she hears it. A voice. Screaming her name. Maya. She turns. There's a woman running toward her, breaking through security, agents trying to stop her, but she's fast, desperate, crying. Rachel. Maya's sister. 2 years younger. Older now, 32 instead of 25. Different hair, shorter. Lines around her eyes that weren't there before. But unmistakably Rachel. Torres moves to intercept, but Maya holds up a hand. She's my sister. We don't have time. Make time. Rachel crashes into her. Not a hug, a collision. Arms around Maya so tight it hurts, face buried in Maya's shoulder, sobs that shake both their bodies. You're alive. Oh my God, you're alive. I saw the news. I saw your name. I thought I was going crazy. I thought. I'm sorry, Maya whispers. I'm so sorry. 7 years. 7 years, Maya. I mourned you. I spoke at your funeral. I visit your grave every year. There's nothing in it, it's empty, but I go anyway because that's all I had left of you. I know. I'm sorry. Rachel pulls back, and the grief in her eyes transforms into anger. Sorry. You let us think you were dead. Mom and Dad, do you know what it did to them? Dad had a heart attack 2 years ago. Stress. Grief. Mom is on antidepressants. David, her voice breaks. David tried to kill himself 6 months after you died. Did you know that? Did you know he was hospitalized because losing you destroyed him? Maya's world tilts. No. I didn't, I couldn't contact anyone. If I had, they would have killed you too. Who? Who wanted to kill you? People in the military. People I reported for selling weapons illegally. They staged my death. I had to stay hidden or we'd all die. Rachel stares at her. Processing. Trying to understand. So you just left. You let us grieve. You watched us suffer. I didn't watch. I couldn't bear to watch. I just existed. Barely. Torres touches Maya's arm. We really need to move. If hostile actors know you're alive, they're mobilizing. We have limited time. Rachel grips Maya's hand. Where are you going? Protective custody. They want to hide me again. No. Rachel's voice is fierce. No more hiding. I just got you back. I'm not losing you again. Torres shakes her head. Ma'am, your sister is in danger. Active threat. We have intelligence suggesting. Then protect her out in the open, Rachel interrupts. Protect her while she lives her life. Don't shove her in a hole for another 7 years. She's already been dead once. Don't make her be dead again. Maya looks at her sister, the sister who just screamed at her, who has every right to hate her, who's now fighting for her. She looks at Torres, at the agents, at the terminal full of people filming everything on their phones. She thinks about that text message, if you land, you're dead within 24 hours. She thinks about 7 years of safety purchased with silence. She thinks about the choice she made in that cockpit. No protective custody, Maya says. Torres's eyes widen. That's not advisable. I didn't ask if it was advisable. I'm done hiding. If they want to come for me, they know where to find me. But I'm not disappearing again. Not for anyone. You could die. I've been dead for 7 years. If I hide again, I'll still be dead. Just, breathing. I'd rather be alive and at risk than safe and invisible. Torres studies her. Then, slowly, she nods. Your choice. But we're assigning protection. Full detail. And you're coming to FBI headquarters for a full debrief. Everything you know about what happened 7 years ago. Fine. But after that, I'm going home with my sister. Rachel squeezes her hand. Damn right you are. The debrief takes 6 hours. Maya sits in a windowless room at FBI headquarters in Denver, surrounded by agents, recorders, a stenographer, and enough coffee to fuel a small army. She tells them everything. The weapons components she saw. The photos she took, which she still has, backed up on encrypted servers she's been maintaining for 7 years. The report she filed. Colonel Marcus Webb's response. The warning from Captain Jennifer Reese. The staged crash. The 7 years of hiding. Torres listens. Takes notes. Asks questions that cut straight to the core. The warning you received today, can we see your phone? Maya hands over the burner. Torres examines the message, traces the number. Encrypted routing. Originating from overseas servers. Whoever sent this knows what they're doing. Can you trace it? We're trying. But Lieutenant Cortez, Maya, you need to understand. The people you reported 7 years ago, we've arrested 3 of them. Colonel Webb is in custody. General Raymond Carver, retired. Marcus Chen from Lockheed Martin, he was facilitating the sales. But there are more. We know there are more. And now they know you're alive. How many more? We don't know. That's the problem. This conspiracy goes deep. Congressional oversight failures. Defense contractors. Foreign intelligence services. It's bigger than we initially thought. Maya absorbs this. So you're saying I'm basically a walking target? Yes. And you want me to hide? We want you alive. Same thing. Torres sighs. Maya. I understand wanting your life back. But these people are professionals. They've killed before. They'll kill again. If you're visible, you're vulnerable. If I'm hidden, I'm not living. Maya meets Torres's eyes. I spent 7 years as a ghost. I watched my family suffer. I missed my sister's wedding. Did you know she got married? 2 years ago. I saw photos on Facebook. I wasn't there. I missed my nephew's birth. Did you know I have a nephew? He's 18 months old. I've never held him. I missed my father's heart attack, my mother's depression, David's suicide attempt. I missed everything that mattered because I was too afraid to live. And if you come out of hiding, you might not live at all. Then I'll die as myself. Not as Anna Lewis. Not as nobody. As Maya Cortez. Silence. Torres studies her, then nods slowly. Okay. But we do this smart. Protection detail. Safe houses. You don't go anywhere alone. You don't take unnecessary risks. And if the threat escalates, you go back into hiding. Non-negotiable. Deal. They release her at 11 p.m. Rachel is waiting in the lobby, along with someone Maya didn't expect. David. He's different. Older, obviously, 36 now instead of 29. Gray at his temples. Glasses. Still handsome, but worn down in a way that makes Maya's heart crack. He's standing next to a woman, Christine, probably. The woman he married after Maya died. Maya stops. She doesn't know what to say. What do you say to the man who proposed to you, who mourned you, who tried to kill himself because losing you was too much to bear? David speaks first. Hi. Hi. Rachel called me. Said you were alive. I didn't believe her. I don't know what I thought. That she was having a breakdown. That it was a cruel joke. But then I saw the news. Saw you landing that plane. Saw your face. I'm sorry, Maya says, because it's the only thing she can say. Are you? There's no anger in his voice. Just exhaustion. Because, Maya, you let me believe you were dead. You let me grieve. You let me, his voice breaks. I tried to kill myself. Did Rachel tell you? 6 months after your funeral. I took pills. A lot of pills. My roommate found me. I spent 3 days in a hospital. Another month in psychiatric care. Because losing you destroyed me. And you were alive the whole time. If I'd contacted you, they would have killed you. So you chose for me. You decided my life was worth saving even if it meant destroying it anyway. Maya has no response to that. He's right. She made the choice. She saved his life by breaking his heart. There's no math that makes that okay. Christine touches David's arm. David. Maybe we should. No. He shakes his head. I need to say this. Maya, I spent 7 years rebuilding myself. Therapy. Medications. Learning to function without you. I met Christine 3 years ago. We got married last year. I'm happy now. Or at least, I'm okay. I'm functional. And then you come back, and I don't know what to do with that. You don't have to do anything, Maya says. I don't expect, I'm not asking for anything. I just wanted you to know the truth. That I didn't abandon you by choice. That I loved you. That I'm sorry. David studies her. Then, slowly, he nods. Okay. Thank you for that. But Maya, we can't go back. Too much time. Too much damage. I know. But maybe we can talk. Coffee sometime. Not as what we were. But as people who knew each other once and need to figure out how to know each other now. Maya smiles through tears. I'd like that. Christine steps forward. She's kind-looking, warm eyes, gentle smile. I'm glad you're alive. I'm glad David gets to have closure. And I'm sorry for what you went through. Thank you, Maya says. And thank you for taking care of him when I couldn't. They leave. Rachel steps forward, takes Maya's hand. Ready to go home? Where's home? My place. Seattle. You're staying with me until you figure things out. What about your husband? Your son? Marcus knows. He's excited to meet his aunt. And Jackson, that's my son, he's too young to understand, but he will someday. Come on. Let's get out of here. They walk out of FBI headquarters into a night that's crisp and clear. News vans are camped outside, reporters shouting questions, cameras filming. Torres's agents form a protective barrier, guiding Maya and Rachel to a waiting SUV. As they drive away, Maya sees the headlines on the reporter screens: Ghost pilot lands plane 7 years after faked death. Air Force lieutenant exposes military corruption. Maya Cortez, the woman who died twice. Rachel sees her looking. You're famous now. Everyone knows your story. I didn't want to be famous. I wanted to be invisible. Too late. You saved 243 people on live news. You exposed a military conspiracy. You came back from the dead. You're not getting invisibility back. Maya leans her head against the window. Good. I don't want it anymore. The hearing room is packed. Senators, military brass, reporters, families of people who died in the conspiracy Maya exposed. She sits at a table, facing the Senate Armed Services Committee, with Torres beside her and an entire legal team behind her. Senator Williams, committee chair, leans into his microphone. Lieutenant Cortez. Thank you for your testimony today. Before we conclude, I want to ask you one question that many Americans are wondering: why didn't you come forward sooner? 7 years is a long time. Many people suffered while you remained hidden. Why did you wait? Maya takes a breath. She's prepared for this question. She's rehearsed answers. But in this moment, she decides to just tell the truth. Because they would have killed me, Senator. These weren't theoretical threats. These were people with access to military resources, intelligence networks, and unlimited money. They staged my death once. They killed Lieutenant Sarah Morrison, the pilot who flew my scheduled training mission when I didn't show up. They murdered her to make my death look real. They would have murdered me too if I'd surfaced. I stayed hidden because I valued my life. I'm not ashamed of that. Survival isn't cowardice. But I also stayed hidden because every day I was gone, my family suffered. My father had a heart attack. My mother fell into depression. My fiancé attempted suicide. My sister mourned me at my own funeral. I did that to them. I made that choice, their suffering versus my safety. And I would make that choice again, Senator. Because if I'd come forward 7 years ago, I'd be dead. And dead, I couldn't save anyone. I couldn't testify here today. I couldn't help convict the people responsible for this corruption. I stayed alive by staying hidden. And when 243 people needed me, I was there. Alive. Capable. Ready. So why didn't I come forward sooner? Because I was waiting for the moment when my testimony would matter more than my death. And that moment came when I landed that plane. Silence in the chamber. Senator Williams nods slowly. Thank you, Lieutenant Cortez. That will be all. Maya stands. Her testimony is done. Over the past 6 months, she's helped the FBI arrest 8 more people involved in the weapons conspiracy. Colonel Webb is serving 30 years in federal prison. General Carver died of a heart attack before trial, suspicious timing, but no evidence of foul play. The weapons program has been shut down. Congressional oversight has been reformed. And Maya has gotten her life back. Mostly. She lives with Rachel now, actually lives with her sister, not just stays there temporarily. She's getting to know her nephew Jackson, who calls her Auntie Maya, and wants her to tell him airplane stories every night. She's reconnecting with her parents, who are healing, slowly, from the trauma of losing her and then finding her again. She's had coffee with David 3 times. It's awkward, careful, but honest. They're not who they were. They'll never be that again. But they're finding a way to be something new, not lovers, not strangers, but 2 people who shared a past and are figuring out how to share a present. The threats haven't stopped. Torres's team has intercepted 2 credible assassination attempts. Maya wears a vest whenever she goes out. She has FBI protection 24/7. She's not safe, not really. But she's alive. And for the first time in 7 years, she's flying again. Not commercially, her piloting credentials are complicated by her 7-year absence and the circumstances of her death. But she's working with the FBI as a consultant, helping train agents in aviation security. She flies their aircraft. She teaches. She's in the air again, where she belongs. As she exits the Senate chamber, reporters swarm. Questions shouted from every direction. But Maya has learned how to handle this. She stops, faces the cameras, and speaks. 7 years ago, I made a choice to disappear rather than die. 6 months ago, I made a choice to come back. Both choices were about survival. The first was about staying alive, the second was about actually living. If I've learned anything, it's that hiding can keep you breathing, but it can't keep you whole. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is be seen, even when being seen means being vulnerable. Thank you. She walks away. Rachel meets her in the hallway, Jackson on her hip. Ready to go home? Maya smiles. Yeah. Let's go home. They walk out of the Capitol building into a day that's bright and clear. Tourists everywhere, families taking photos, children running. Normal life. The kind of life Maya spent 7 years locked out of. She's not Anna Lewis anymore. She's not a ghost. She's not hiding. She's Maya Cortez. She's alive. She's visible. She's home. And if the people who tried to kill her come for her again, she'll face them. Because she's done running. Because some things are worth the risk. Because being alive, really alive, means being willing to be seen, even when being seen means being in danger. She looks up at the sky. Clear blue. Unlimited ceiling. Perfect flying weather. Hey Rachel, she says. Want to go to the airport? I'm teaching a class this afternoon. You and Jackson can watch from the observation deck. Rachel grins. Jackson, want to see Auntie Maya fly a plane? Jackson's eyes go wide. Airplane. Big airplane. They head to the car. FBI agents in tow, cameras still filming, the world watching. But Maya doesn't feel watched. She feels seen. And there's a difference. She survived by hiding. She came back by choosing truth. And now she's living by refusing to hide ever again. Because 7 years as a ghost taught her something essential: survival isn't the same as life. Safety isn't the same as freedom. And sometimes saving others means exposing yourself to the very danger you've spent years escaping. But it's worth it. Every single time. She's Maya Cortez. She flew back from the dead. And she's never disappearing again.